Hey everybody, so I've been trying to catch up on some work, so I haven't really had a chance to check out any new movie releases. However, I have been able to check out some new TV shows, and two of which just premiered here on HBO Max. The first one I checked out here was Velma. The first two episodes dropped, and it's a new adult comedy starring Mindy Kaling. Now at this point, everyone on the internet has voiced their thoughts on this new series, and while I do think some people are exaggerating their hatred for the show, I can't lie and say I don't see where a lot of the criticisms are coming from. Now, I love Scooby-Doo, and if there was any show that defined my childhood, it was this franchise. I'll admit that while the trailers didn't look great, I was still excited about this series in some way. After all, Scooby-Doo has been around for 50 plus years, and some of their best works have come from mixing things up and trying something new. Unfortunately, what hurts Velma the most is that it's just not funny, and as a comedy, that is a big sin. Now, not to say that there aren't any good jokes, but most failed miserably. This is mainly because it's the same type of joke over and over again. You know the ones that are like, don't you hate it when they do this cliche on TV show, and then proceeds to do the exact same cliche that they're poking fun at? Meta humor is maybe funny once or twice and spaced out, but it's constant throughout these first two episodes and comes off like the writers just not caring to actually write a joke with a setup and a punchline.
Idiot, so let's assume they're high.
You know what 420 is, right?
Yeah, it's code for adults who still watch cartoons.
Another thing a lot of people have been complaining about is the characters and the drastic overhauls of their personalities. First off, I don't mind the character designs. If you're going to do something different, go all the way with it. Plus, given the voice cast, it makes more sense to have their designs reflect their voices. However, the problem with our characters is they're all incredibly unlikable. Velma, the lead of your show, the one we're supposed to be rooting for, is just miserable and rude to everyone. Having a character act like they're better than everyone can work, but the problem is that she hasn't been proven wrong for this. The show doesn't paint this personality trait in a negative light and tries to convince us that Velma is the only one in the right, which doesn't make for an exciting lead. Shaggy, aka Norville, is just one joke repeatedly repeated over and over again. I, Shaggy, would never do drugs. Remember how everyone said Shaggy was a stoner? Isn't that so wacky?
It has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
The only character who got any kind of positive reaction from me was Fred, played by Glenn Howerton. On top of being a massive It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan, Howerton knows how to make these lines work. Even if the dialogue isn't particularly funny, his delivery is what sells it. I think the voice cast across the board is doing a good job and giving it their all, but they're just let down by really bad writing and weak scripts from these first two episodes. If there is one consistently positive thing throughout these first two episodes of Velma, it's the animation. The designs are wholly unique to this show, and it doesn't feel like any other adult cartoon show out there right now. The best moments are when Velma has one of her hallucinations and the animation messes around with the colors and the lighting, and it's just really pleasing to look at. Overall, though, I do agree that based on these first two episodes, Velma isn't that good of a show, but I think we haven't seen the show as a whole, so it could definitely be different come the end of the series, and it shouldn't be entirely written off just yet. This franchise has given us much worse, and by the end of the day, this will just be another Scooby-Doo iteration in a sea of direct-to-video offerings. Besides, if there's one good thing to come from all of this, is that people are finally giving Mystery Incorporated the time of day. So, if you didn't like Velma but still want a dark and humorous version of Scooby-Doo that acts more adult, then check out Mystery Incorporated. It's great 2 seasons of television. Speaking of great, we also got the first episode of The Last of Us. Right away, I should explain that I've never actually played The Last of Us video games, so for the most part, I'm going into the show on a completely blank slate. I think where this first episode really succeeds is in the world building. While we don't see a lot of the post-apocalyptic society, we immediately get a clear understanding of how things operate and function. The performances are all terrific, in particular Pedro Pascal, who knows how to sell these gruff, almost silent protagonists. But unlike The Mandalorian, you get to to see his face throughout and feel the pain he's keeping inside. You also have a solid performance from Bella Ramsey as Ellie, however you don't get too much of her in this first episode, but I expect some great things to come. Honestly, I'm just impressed by the scale of this series. It could have been relatively easy for them to cheapen out and do what shows with similar stories do and only show a fraction of this new world, but the series spares no expense and it's all the better for it. I'm excited to see where the series goes from here, and it sparked my interest enough that it makes me want to get my hands on the source material, so I recommend everyone check this one out if they haven't already. Hey everybody, so I know there was some quick rapid fire reviews. These were just some first impressions. I might do full reviews once these series have aired all their episodes. If you agree or disagree with me, you can let me know in the comments below. Keep things positive, obviously. And in case anybody missed it, I do have my 2022 ranking video. I'm going to be promoting that video for a while here because I worked really hard in it. It's my longest video to date, and I just really want people to check it out, and I want it to do well, so definitely check that out. I also had a review of Megan Up that got copyright claim, which I've been thinking or contemplating on whether or not I would like to re-edit it so I can put it back up, but at this point I don't know if it will be up, but just know that I thought Megan was fine, but I was a little disappointed by it, in case you didn't get to see the video when it was up. But anyways, see you all next time.